The following program is a PodcastOne.com production.
From Hollywood, California, by way of the Broken Skull Ranch, this is the Steve Austin Show.
Give me a hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Now, here's Steve Austin.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Steve Austin Show. I'm sitting here in Atlanta, Georgia, the ATL, talking to one of the greatest of all time, Jake the Snake Roberts. And I'm in the confines, or the compound of DDP Yoga. Man, I drove up this damn thing, and I was like, holy smokes. I was looking for just a little building, Jake, and I drove by this thing and said, it's a monstrosity. I pulled in. Here we sit. I haven't seen you in a long time, and I've never got a chance to thank you in public or in person about what you did for me way back in the day, and that was when I created Austin 316 due to a match that I had with you. Vader roughed you up pretty good. Worked over your ribs. Mark Merrill had kicked me in the mouth. I went to the hospital.
Did a good job of it, too.
He did a good job.
I like that phony blood capsule you used.
Yeah. That was the phony blood capsule that everybody
Chicken
talks
blood,
about. Yeah, chicken blood. So I go to the hospital, get stitched up. As soon as I get out of the ambulance, I got my stuff on because you and me are going to go.
Yep.
And Michael PSAs comes up to me. He goes, hey, Steve, before you go to the ring, I just want you to know, before you do the King of Ring acceptance speech, Jake cut a religious-based promo on you. And that's when I came up with the Austin 316 thing. And I always think, Jake, in my career, nothing would have happened. It would have no reason to happen. I wouldn't have created that because it was just organic.
Right.
So if I had not been wrestling you in that damn final match at King of the Ring, if P.S. Hayes had not told me what you said, if you'd not have said that, Austin 316 would have never been born. And then, because Stone Cold said so, would have been born either. So I basically owe my whole WWE run to you.
No, you don't. No, you don't. Because, if you owe me for anything, you owe me for sticking up for you in the fucking office. I'm sorry.
Tell me about sticking up for me in office. What happened? And when was this? Was this WCW or WWE?
No, this is WWE. My father had seen you in WCW, and he gave me the angst to say, son, this guy will take some time to get over, but if he ever gets over, he'll be gone forever. He said, just get an eye on him. So when you came up here, of course, they had you saddled on the wrong pony and doing all this wrong stuff. And I was in the office, and they're like, well, every time your name would come up, I'd say, guys, you just need to get on this guy and ride him hard for a long period of time, give him some time to get over. He gets over old school style. He wrestles. Powers and B said, well, we look for him to be through third or fourth match.
Right.
And I said, that's just total bullshit. Yeah. So when he gave me the opportunity to get with you and work with you, you don't think I wouldn't? Oh, man. I was like, somebody's going to get over if I had to pull my damn teeth out. Because I respected what you were doing out there. You weren't afraid to go back and wrestle a little bit. And if you remember King of Ring, we grabbed the damn hole.
Right. But the thing about it, and they made it a short match due to the damage you sustained, due to the fact that it had 14 stitches that they didn't want to come back out, so it was a short ride, bad landing. Famous promo you cut on Undertaker when you slammed his hand into that casket. But I always appreciated what you did for me.
No, man.
And the fact of the matter is, my career would not have happened if that promo hadn't been said. I'd probably still been Jake. Maybe I would have been a star. Or maybe I've just been a high-profile
got somewhere
mechanic.
You'd got somewhere because you were that driven. But I didn't really do it for you. I did it for wrestling. Wrestling needed you, and I hate to think today what wrestling would have been without you.
Yeah, but let's talk about what wrestling would have been without you. Because I want to go back to your start. You're a second-generation guy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and you were trained by Buck Robley. And also a little bit with your father.
No,
okay,
really.
but it's listed.
Just at home.
Okay, just at home. But, and I know that's a strained relationship. So when I read that, I was wondering really how hands-on was the training, because I didn't think you guys had that. Okay.
He took me out in the backyard one time and chopped me 3 or 4 times and said I was a pussy and I'd never make it.
Right.
That was his training.
Gotcha.
And the only advice my father ever gave me is some that I should have taken to heart. And if I'd taken that to heart, I'd have me one of these damn buildings. What he told me, son, you can make money or you can be one of the boys. Son of a bitch, why didn't I get that?
Say that one more time.
You can make money or you can be one of the boys.
Damn, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's so cold.
Right.
It's so straight. It's so right.
Right.
But because of the issues I dealt with early in my life, man, I wanted to fit in. I wanted everybody to like me.
Right.
And son of a bitch.
We're going to come back to that. I want to go to Buck Robley and training you, because I want to talk about your style. When I describe your style, and you're one of my favorites of all time, and I hold you in very high regard with the in-ring work and the promo, the total package, and of course the gimmick. But with respect to your style, your level of athleticism wasn't great.
Nope.
You're one of the greatest of all time. What was the genesis of what Buck Robley taught you?
Keeping it real. Keeping it real. Don't do stupid shit. Don't do something the fan can't believe. People go out and they destroy their own credibility nightly. They go out and do 6 clotheslines and one of them's a little off, or they do 6 clotheslines. I'm sorry, but you didn't beat the sumbitch.
Right.
So what are you?
Right.
You're not a man. You're not a great wrestler. You're just some guy that's doing this a lot.
Right.
You know. So Buck would tell you, God damn it, just do one thing, do it right.
Right.
100%, and get all that you can out of it. In other words, make that guy sell for you.
Right.
Because that makes your shit stronger.
Right.
Doesn't matter if you hit him with a punch or you drop toe, it doesn't matter. So less is more type stuff. I mean, I when I'm teaching kids about credibility, I hit them with this one. Let's just say I came into town and I took you out and got you messed up and you wound up sleeping with a midget. Never had cheated on your wife, not one time in your whole life. Man, you woke up the next morning, you felt so damn bad about it, you wanted to get honest with her. So you went and told her the truth. And you told her, I've never, ever, ever cheated on you before. Well, last night I screwed a midget. Does she believe you? No. You destroyed your credibility. Right. Same thing with the fans. Yeah. When you go out there and do stuff that they can't get their head around, then you're just another phony wrestler.
Right.
No, phony wrestler. Okay. See, that's one of the reasons you got over is because you did stuff that a real man would do.
Okay, let me ask you something. What you said a while ago, you told the higher-ups, keep watching this guy. It's going to take him a long time to get over, but when he gets over, he's going to stay over, because Blackjack Mulligan, George Animal Steel, Jerry Briscoe, all of those guys that were agents when I came into the WWF were telling me the same thing. And at the time, they were pushing Mankind.
Oh,
He
yeah.
was a great guy. They were pushing Vader.
They were getting over quick.
Mark Henry. They were pushing Mark Merrow. They didn't have any plans for me. But those guys would watch what I was doing and tell me the same thing. With respect to you and breaking in with learning from Buck and starting in 74, 75, down there in the South, Louisiana territory. How long did it take you to put the pieces together? First of all, mechanic-wise, being able to just have a match.
For me?
Yeah. Okay. And then get the psychology part of it down.
I was probably the worst wrestler that ever started in this business. I sucked.
I saw old matches of you working with Barry Windham in the early
days. Those were good.
Yes, they were.
Those were great. But I'm talking about when I first started. I had no business in the damn ring. The only reason I got jobs is because they thought Grizzly, that bullshit. And I was so bad, they turned me into a referee.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then tell me this, because working with, in the prime of your career, watching all the badass stuff you did, and I always say you worked an economic type style because you didn't use a whole lot of moves because they all meant something, and your purpose was to always go for that DDT. You're trying to finish a match, correct?
Right.
So when you started, if you're as bad as you say you were, what kind of moveset did you have?
Well,
because you hadn't invented the DDT yet.
No, that's back when I was doing 100 damn moves, And I go out there, and that's when I learned less is more. Because I was going out there and beating the shit out of myself, trying to do stuff I wasn't capable of doing. Right. But Buck Robley had me in Kansas City, and I got fired in Kansas City for smoking pot. And Dick Murdoch, thank you. He told on me, so Pat O'Connor fired me. And Buck stood up and said, guys, you're going to smoke pot, come over to my place. Fuck you, O'Connor, that's Buck. But Buck told me, we made a couple road trips, and he says, look, you need to go someplace where they don't know you, and you don't know any of them, because that's your problem. You're walking around here trying to be you when you should be trying to be something else. Develop a character, in other words.
Right.
He said, you got a long road trip ahead of you. You're going to drive from here to British Columbia.
Okay, now why did he feel like you need to go to Canada? Or
because I wouldn't try anything, because I was so intimidated by watching all these guys I'd watched wrestle my father all my life.
Right.
That scared the bejesus out of me.
Right.
You know, I just cringed when I'd see him Bob Sweettown. Oh, you know, he was a scary son of a bitch to me. Later on, I find out a little bit different.
Right.
You know, Buck Roby was a scary son of a bitch. I got to hanging around with Buck, and I realized, you know.
I never got a chance to see a whole lot of Buck's work. How good of a hand was he?
He was great. He was great psychologist. Great psychologist, you know. And again, not the good body at all, you know.
Right.
But he was constantly breaking that arm and loading the gimmick, you know.
Right.
But he worked that. But his interviews were petrifying, you know, because you just looked at him and you knew he's a sick son of a bitch. And guess what? He was.
Right. So when you went to Canada, so what was his discovery?
When I went to Canada, all the way out there, you know, I was smoking a little pot and drinking a little beer all damn way because that's the way I rolled back then.
I think we all did.
Yeah, and I told myself, you know, you're going to be somebody completely damn different. So I put a little Dusty Rhodes in it. And you know, a smart man knows where to steal his good stuff. Because there ain't nothing new.
You're
Smart man knows where to steal good stuff. And,
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to copy someone bit for bit because it'll never happen. But you got to take a little piece of this, a little piece of that, and put it together. So I made up my mind that when I arrived there, I wasn't going to talk like Aurelian Smith. I was going to talk like Jake Roberts, man. And Jake Roberts is a bad motherfucker.
Right.
You know. And
But how long did you take to realize you need to be a bad motherfucker?
Oh, when I left Kansas City, I starved to death.
Right.
I was tired of getting fired. You know, back those days, you know, when you went to a territory, you wanted to stay there 6 months to a year.
Right.
That way you could pay for your moving expenses and all that.
Right.
I was lasting 2 months.
Who were the guys that were working on top in Canada at that time? What did the roster look like?
That was very key for me because there wasn't nothing.
Gotcha.
Gene Kaniski would come through every now and then, and whoever was on top, he'd beat him. Of course, he looked like hell. But Moose Morowski, Big John Quinn, great talents, you know. But Moose Morowski's the one that he was getting ready to go to Japan, and he took me under his wing and said, "I want to make money with you, kid." And he took me out there and beat the living bejesus out of me.
You working, baby?
I was baby face. He was big.
So
heel.
what did he see in this young, gangly kid?
Me. He just liked me and maybe the respect that I gave him.
Right.
And the hunger. I was always hungry to do better, but I just didn't know how to do better. I was too intimidated by people that I'd watched.
Okay, so what'd you learn from Moose that was different from what Buck taught you?
Goddamn, protect yourself when he's got a blade. Bitch, he gaffed me on the leg one time, man. He grabbed my damn leg and went like this, and he cut me from here to there, brother, about that long. You know, and that's just to protect. I learned from Moose to listen and to sell properly without dying,
right?
Which is really big,
right?
And the other thing I learned from Moose is, you know, always be moving,
right?
You know, you're not 300 pounds, you're not a strong man, but you don't go into stick man mode and lay there,
right?
People are gonna walk out,
right?
So he would constantly push me around the ring,
right?
I'd be so damn blown up because I was so scared of him,
right?
Because he suplexed me 92 different ways from hell and beat the living crap out of me. But I think he was doing that to show people I was tough.
Right. So what is your mindset when you go into Canada? You're going in as a baby, but you're trying to get over.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to go to your heel psychology about getting over because I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit different. But, okay, you're working with Moose.
Sell.
What is, okay.
Sell. Babyface has to sell.
Thank you.
That's what they've missed today.
God.
Nobody sells shit today.
Right.
Destroying is like that girl, old man messed around. She'll never believe that son of a bitch.
Right.
And when you destroy your own credibility,
right,
it makes me sick when I see a guy like wants to go out there and act like he's 300 damn pounds. Son of a bitch, man! You're a good-looking son of a bitch. Why don't you use that and get over? Be that baby face that you know all the girls want to cry for. Instead, you want to rough up your voice and talk like you're 300 pounds and you won't sell a goddamn thing.
Right.
Son of a bitch.
Right.
Making it harder for everybody.
Right.
There's only one bad son of a bitch on this planet, and it used to be Andre.
Right.
And we're still looking for the other one.
Right.
I got to figure he's part Samoan.
So, and yeah, but in talking about that selling, and one of the things that I always say as a babyface is, yeah, sell, but the goddamn babyface has to have fire. And I'm not talking about I ain't talking about the manufactured fire.
No.
I think it can be learned, but many times I think either you got it or you don't. correct?
For the most part.
I mean, it could be learned, but I mean,
there's something special about guys that are baby facing great ones like Dusty. I mean, Jesus Christ, Dusty was no great body phenom either.
right.
But he would do he'd fire up and he'd fire up for a brief, a little bit, and back at him.
Yeah.
See, to me, having a wrestling match is like having sex. Hopefully, you don't hit that best shot first.
Right.
Now, some of us have.
Yeah.
Not me.
Yeah.
But you build your match that way. I mean, you go out with a girl and you hug and kiss on her a little bit, and you run that hand down that back, try and get that bra strap. She heels out on your ass.
Right.
You have to come back a different way. And you work it.
Right.
And then you get down the front, and pretty soon you're desperate and you throw out the anchor, man. But baby, I love you. I really do. I love you. Now can we? Okay.
Yeah. How long were you in Canada for?
A year.
Okay, you go back.
A year, I go to Japan for 2 months.
How was Japan for you?
I got the living shit beat out of me.
I thought you were going to say that.
Because I'll tell you why.
Were they working strong style back then?
Yeah.
What did you think about that?
I sucked.
Yeah.
Didn't sell shit.
Right.
But the reason I got beat up is because my photo that I sent over to get booked wasn't quite right. I took a picture with Andre.
Right.
And I stepped 2 feet out in front of him. So I looked about the same height.
Right.
So when I got over there, I come off that airplane and I'm looking. Well, I see all those IWC suits, they all, remember those nice jumpsuits they used to hand out to everybody? I see them over there. I'm like,
they were expecting you to be
yeah. Finally, they look, and they look at, and from that point on, I was known as Shit Boy.
Yeah.
You shit boy.
Is that a shoot?
Yeah. And I did a cage match every damn night I was there.
Right.
2 damn months straight, bro. He beat the living shit out of me for lying to him.
So did you ever go back to Japan? Or
Yeah. I wound up working for him quite a bit actually, because I knew a lot of talent over here, and I knew a lot of cheap talent over here.
Right.
And that company wasn't Baba and wasn't Inoki. It was called International. And they were wanting guys that were reasonably priced. And these are guys that never even been to Japan.
Right.
Mike Boyette.
Right.
And guys like that, And so I sent them a lot of talent. And, I saved their ass one time because one of the guys I'd booked over there, a guy by the name of Turk, he took some pot over there and they called him at the airport and busted him.
Yeah.
And they called me in the middle of the night, and hell, I just walked out of where I was at and went over there. I mean, I could make 5 times the damn money.
Right.
So I saved the tour for them, so they really appreciated that. And then I went one step further. Back then they always wanted to get the Japanese boys over here.
Right.
And they had a kid named Hara. He was a great football player, soccer player. And they turned him into a wrestler. Good-looking son of a bitch. But he needed some seasoning. And I brought him to Louisiana for 6 months. And he got that seasoning. And from that point on, I had a pretty good relationship with him.
Gotcha.
But I still got beat up.
Okay, so you end up you have to go to Canada because you've got to find yourself. You end up going to Japan, you get the shit kicked out of you because you're supposed to be a giant and you ain't.
Yeah.
When did you come up?
Then it got worse.
But you weren't the snake. It got worse from there?
Oh, goddamn, I went to Stu Hart.
Oh, geez.
Hell yeah.
Tell me about the Calgary territory.
Oh, my God. What's the tell? That was a goddamn zoo. Me and JYD.
And what about the road trips?
He was Sylvester Ritta at the time. Black
Did he have the charisma back then?
Yeah.
Was he drawn back in?
Yeah, he was a heel. Everybody hated that son of a bitch.
Really?
Yeah. He went as that pimp, He could put that stuff on, brother, like gold chains and stuff and shoes and stuff, and just had that look about him, And me with my interviews was pretty easy.
What was the brand of wrestling that was going on back then?
And in Stu Hart's territory is a D.
Right.
There were some moments of brilliance.
Right.
Because you had some talent there. Talent that was growing.
Who was talent?
Well, it damn sure wasn't me. I was pretty decent, and they put me in the main event slot with JYD. All the talent was one guy.
Brett?
Tom Billington.
Tom Billington.
Yeah.
Not my kid.
Damn right.
Right.
And Brett was just starting, and Billington would just school the shit out of him.
Right.
And Another English boy by the name of Marty Jones was there.
Yeah.
And he would school some people too.
Yeah,
so that was very interesting to watch.
Really?
Oh yeah. I learned a lot by watching them. And I had a few matches with Dynamite.
You're working with Dynamite. Okay, you working Hill or Baby?
I was a babyface.
Okay, now he's a naturally salty guy.
Oh, son of a bitch,
So who's calling the match?
Damn right he was. I didn't say a damn word, bro. I remember one night, it's different back then, you could do stuff. Like if some fan was heckling you in the audience and took it personal, you could just get out of the ring and go take care of it.
Yeah.
Well, Dynamite did. One night we were, I think, in Edmonton, Alberta or something, and he had me down, been working the arm. He says, Jake, don't fucking move. Okay? And he let go of my arm.
Yeah.
Walked down to the audience, 5 rows back, just paintbrushed some bitch like crazy. Walked back in the room, I still got my arm stuck in the air.
Are you sure?
Hell no. I was scared to move.
Yeah. What was he like back then? He kind of went off the rails towards that. Anyway, he had an
unbelievable talent.
Yeah.
Probably that guy should have been so much more than he was. He beat himself up pretty much in Canada even before he got to the WWE.
Right.
But he wasn't as big.
Right.
And he can move back.
Right.
I mean, really, do you really want that to happen? He can move better?
Right.
Holy shit, he was a machine. And with Brett.
Well, how did you guys compensate for the size difference? He was a smaller guy, especially before he got jacked up, and you're 6'6".
He wrestled and his attitude.
Right.
It's not about your size, it's about perception.
But, I mean, what was the style that you guys wrestled?
Oh, he went behind me, fucking took my ass down.
Right.
Grabbed an arm. He wrestled.
Right.
He was a damn terror. He was that goddamn Wolverine on your ass.
Right.
And that's what I try to explain to guys today. You don't have to be 10 foot tall. Wrestle smart.
Right.
Don't go out there and try to beat your chest and be damn King Kong when you're 5'7". You've got, as a baby face, you're going to get sympathy from it. As a heel, you can be just full of tenacity and be a rotten son of a bitch. And everybody knows, guess what? God damn it, he's not big enough to beat so-and-so, but he cheats like a bastard, and he does this, he does that.
Yeah.
There's your heat, son.
Right.
Not trying to be equal.
Right.
Your heat comes from your situation.
But at this time in you guys' careers, you're both still relatively young, right?
Oh, yeah. We were moving.
So, but he seems to me, just and you talking about him, was a little bit wise beyond his years.
Oh, he was.
Okay.
He was. He grew up in wrestling.
Right.
Really wrestling.
Okay.
Real wrestling.
And so then when did you come down and then get involved in Mid-South and NWA?
I stayed.
And turn into Jake the Snake, because you weren't the Snake yet.
No. Wasn't. I did.
Now, how were you doing as far as where you were? Were you a star there?
Yeah, I was. Yeah, I got that.
Jake Roberts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got that.
You still didn't have the gimmick.
No, I didn't have the gimmick. And
is the gimmick the thing that you needed to get you to? Were you selling? Were you selling tickets?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I put asses.
But the Snake helped you sell mega
tickets.
The
Snake made the whole difference in the world.
Okay.
Come on, give me a break, And that's something I took to Bill Watts way back. And Bill Watts' reply was, "This ain't a goddamn circus."
Are you shitting me?
Think that Snake is shoving up your ass.
Tell me about this pitch. How do you pitch this?
Well, I went to it because I was wrestling Humongous.
Right.
And he was constantly headbutting me. I get the collar, flop out, And I needed an equalizer. So Bill Watson says, "Jake, get a bag of some sorts, and you're going to put a hockey mask in there." I'm like, "What?" So I'm going to copy him. Oh, goddamn, that's brilliant. That sucks, man.
Right.
You got to be one up.
Right.
So I went back to, what if I got a fucking snake in that son of a bitch, man? He's terrified of that motherfucker. He said, "Get the fuck out of here. This ain't no goddamn circus. Get the fuck out."
Watts told you that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but what about just apart the name Jake the Snake?
Jake the Snake, he moved like a snake.
Well, when did you when did you incorporate the snake into the name?
Oh, not till I went to Vince.
Really?
Yeah.
It was always Jake Roberts up until Vince?
It was Jake. No, it was Jake the Snake.
Right.
I did that because of Kenny Stabler. I was a big pro football fan, Kenny Stabler.
Right.
Snake, and not so much because of what he did in the field, because he was a party motherfucker, and he beat up, he broke all the rules.
Right. But when did you incorporate the name?
It was probably my second trip to Louisiana.
Right.
I went.
How big of a difference did that make? Because now you've got something.
I had a
form
cool
identity.
thing going on. I had a cool thing going on.
Right.
And actually, who gave me that? Who really pushed that to happen?
Who?
Paul Orndorff.
Really?
Yeah, because I was screwing off his girls.
Really?
He said, "You're a goddamn snake, Jake. You're a goddamn snake. Leave my goddamn girls alone.
Right.
Leave my rats alone."
Now that you had that, I mean, like Stunning Steve Austin.
Yeah.
When Dutch Mantell gave me that name, it was just like, hey, when you turn heel, you can call yourself Stunning Steve Austin, be this cocky, arrogant guy.
Yeah.
But it really didn't mean anything.
What do you?
Yeah, Stone Cold meant something, and I had something to build upon
What's the
and
way you
establish
walk,
an identity.
Yeah, it wasn't an identity. It was you.
But that, yeah. So and so the snake was
Same
you.
with me. Yeah.
But that, to me, when you have that base or that added to the mix of solid mechanics, great psychology, and you got a tremendous gimmick that has depth and meaning and something that people can identify with, whether they love it or hate it.
Yeah.
When you put all the components together, then you have asses in the seats, and then you turn into a superstar.
And you got time on your side.
Right.
Because you can do a lot of it.
Okay, so going back into the squared circle, as a babyface, you said you got to sell.
Yeah, absolutely.
I brought up
Sell and fire.
Got to have fire.
Two things.
Okay, so you went into Canada. Morosky was beating the shit out of you. You go into a territory. You're working heel. What is your MO to get over? And you're the new guy in this motherfucker, and you done found yourself.
Solid.
So
you got to have a solid goddamn finish.
Right.
And one thing I disagree with people with on a heel is I never say anything I can't do.
Right. And how?
Well, it's like, I'm going to kill him.
Right.
Then you don't.
Right.
Now I can say, I'm going to make you wish you were dead. Now I got away with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as a heel, it's really solid wrestling. But then you got to have that different gear.
Tell me about that gear.
That gear is when you're doing the match and you get frustrated. The babyface keeps shining up on your ass.
Yeah.
And finally you can't fucking take it no more.
Yeah.
And you switch fucking gears on his fucking ass, man. You drive a fucking knee into his leg, brings him down, and you boom, 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 and then back off of him. Because number one, you're blowed up. But number two, you want him to sell a little bit.
Right.
Now you take your time when he's getting up and you drop down and start aiming for him now.
Right,
You're gonna
right.
take his
Take
ass
your
apart.
cheap shots.
I'm going to take
And
his
you're
ass apart.
calculating.
You're goddamn right. And the referee's pushing you back. Now here's another thing. Obey that referee. That's where your heat is. All the guys want to shove the goddamn referee.
Right.
That's so goddamn stupid.
Right.
Obey that fucking referee. It's like this. If you walked up on a scene and there's some goddamn sniper knocking off kids,
Right.
and there's a policeman standing next to you, he don't do nothing. Who's got the real heat here?
You got it.
Goddamn cop does.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch, you got a goddamn watch you doing something.
Yeah.
Is a heel. A goddamn referee comes in between, breaks this up. Yes, sir, yes, sir. I'm going to back off. But as soon as he turns his back to me, I'm going to give it that snarl. And when he turns his back to you, I'm going to brush him aside.
Right.
Not nail him.
Right.
But I'm going to make him stumble a little
Right.
bit. And I'm going to look over at him and smile.
Yeah.
Like a dirty motherfucker. Dirty son of a bitch jar.
Talk to me before I continue, because I want to add something to that. But talk to me about the art of a powder,
Oh. Right timing.
because you were great at it.
Right timing, man.
I mean, if you work in heel, all of a sudden, the babyface get a couple of moves on you, and you're going to slide out.
A lot of guys will powder in an escape mode and frantic. I thought it was much better to powder and just slide back like, hey, I ain't fucking stupid. I'm just going the wrong goddamn way for me.
Yeah, and I think, and the way you powdered, it wasn't chicken shit heel.
No.
It was, hey, I'm going to collect myself. There's another way to do this.
Yeah, just a
Right.
minute, son. I'll be right back.
Yeah, and to the people out there that don't know what a powder is, that's when a guy just decides to get out of the ring. Whether it's a heel or a baby, you get out of the ring, and more often than not, it's going to be your heel doing this.
I don't mind doing that as a babyface, you know. I mean,
No, just because, hey, man, this is a bad motherfucker. This
because
guy's
you know what
big.
That does? You know what that does? It puts the heel over.
Right.
And then Jake's worried.
Yeah, but it's done in a different tone or flavor.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's done. Hey, I got to come up with a game plan because maybe you're working humongous or whatever.
Yeah.
This ain't working. Let me think about it.
He just woke me up.
It gives the audience a chance to, hey, here's what's going on. It's part of the story.
This is real.
Yeah. He don't know what a shit wine is watch. He's
That
scared.
was chicken blood.
You can elicit all kinds of different responses from it.
Oh, yeah.
But it's the powder. And these days, I don't want to say these days, but you don't see a powder as much as you used to. And it's so effective. And I think part of it is because the product moves so fast these days. It's a great way to get heat. But and then a lot of people, sitting back here, they're going to change the channel because you guys just left the ring. We'll turn it back on. Oh, man, keep watching.
Yeah.
They're telling you something.
Yeah.
They're setting you up.
See, I always like doing it as a heel or as a babyface. I'd come out of that ring, I'd look at the guy, and fuck you.
Right.
Come on.
Right.
And as soon as he came, I'd go around the post, roll in, and he comes through, kick him in the face.
Right.
I've seen you do that a couple of times. But, and you switch it around the other way, babyface is smart son of a bitch for pulling that,
Right.
Like, oh, my shoulder's in there. No back. Most babyfaces don't want to do this.
Right.
I'm going to do it. You know why?
Yeah.
I don't like being bumped.
Right, yeah, right.
So leave me on the mat.
Right,
Don't touch me.
yeah.
Don't touch me.
Yeah.
And I'll slide
I'm vulnerable.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm hurt. Oh, I'm really hurt, folks. I'm really hurt.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah.
Damn common sense, man.
Yeah, it's smart.
And that's the reason I can't wait to get out to Vegas and teach a whole bunch of people.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
Hey, man, do you own or rent your home? Sure you do. And I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing, too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com. Talk to me about the art of cheating. It seems to be a lost art. No one wants to do it anymore.
Nobody wants to do it. They just want to thump somebody on the head. Cheating is real simple, guys. It's I remember watching one time, and I can't remember who the hell taught me this. I think it was Buck Robley. He showed it to me. I said, "That ain't cheating." He said, really? You watch me tonight. And it was a top hammer lock.
Right.
And he'd take his foot and put it on the guy's back of his cap and push him back down.
Yeah.
He did that 2 or 3 times, and them goddamn people were ready to kill him. It wasn't cheating.
Yeah.
But it's the way you do it.
Right.
The sneakiness of it. Or your facials with it.
Right.
Pulling hair, my God. My God, that used to be such a good spot.
Right. Right.
Not even get it.
Yeah.
The act of. Yeah, this is taking us away from this a little bit, but when I was growing up, my dad was constantly getting his butt kicked by the assassins.
Right. Hell of a tactic.
Oh, my God. And I had no idea I was riding in the back seat with them.
Right.
They had the mask off, and I was just, I'd talk all sorts of shit about them.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. I hate them. They're pussies, all that shit. They just egg me on and say, yeah, but they're kicking your dad's ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dad, why are you still fighting them? Even they know that they're going to hurt you. Yeah, Grizzly, I think those assassins got your number. They're going to put you in a wheelchair. And I just, and they always had that gimmick with the mask.
Right.
I'm ashamed to say this, but this is how well hooked I was, because I was a believer until I had my night. I refereed the first match. I went to Jody Hamilton after I'd been in the business 10 years. Jody, I got to know. Well, what is it? What was that thing you stuck up there? He goes, there wasn't nothing. What do you mean there wasn't nothing? He said, no, not unless I was going to get caught with it. If I wasn't getting caught with it, it's the motion of it.
Right.
That right there explains how you cheat.
Right.
The motion.
Right.
The thought of doing something.
Right.
Your mind can create a bigger fear than my mind can, because our fears are different. Mine might be drowning, your might be burned up by fire. That might be your fear. So we got to create that horror. One of the best angles I ever seen never even happened.
What's that?
They did a thing where Ken Mantell was supposed to get a championship match with Bob Sweetan, and didn't make it. And he'd been trying to get a TV championship match with, all these stipulations for a long time. Next week, ladies and gentlemen, right here live on Mid-South Wrestling. No man tell. Halfway through the show, he comes crawling in, all cut up, all bloody, all muddy, and drops out.
Yeah.
Of course, they go and interview him and says, who did it? I'm not even going to say their name. I'm not going to give them the damn... I ain't going to say his name, but he knows who he was. Where did it happen? Hotel over there, Bossier City. By the next week, I must have spoke to 200 people, knew what hotel it was, seen what had happened. There were 9 fucking guys on him.
Yeah.
Baseball bats and all this shit. It never even happened. Let the fans create what it was. Throw the mystery out there.
Right.
Grabbing hair, I love it. Grabbing tights, I love it.
Ropes,
I love them. Probably number one favorite. I used to do it when I do the guy, the knuckle string thing.
Yeah.
I'd back up and step up on that first rope and power it back down. Finally the third time he sticks his foot up there, rolls back and gives me a little monkey foot.
Right.
Give it back to him.
Right.
Those are where you get heat, man. You don't get heat. And here's my least favorite. Watching 6 guys beat up one guy is not heat. That's just disgusting bullshit. Where are the other baby faces at?
Right.
There's no heat when it's just like that. There's no heat when you hit a guy with a damn sledgehammer. Number one, both of you have killed your damn characters. So Mitch gets up. If he can get up from a sledgehammer, folks, I can't fight him.
And that's a very interesting point.
God damn, you just killed your character. You just told the whole world you're a phony son of a bitch.
Well, that's interesting. That's heavy duty right there.
That's true, bro.
Well, that's a good point.
Damn sure is, man. If you ask the people on the street, what you think about him when he hit my head with that sledgehammer? They'll just, really?
Right.
Don't do that, for crying out loud.
You mentioned a while ago, and of course, well, the one thing I wanted to add there before I move on off of that is when I think about a good heel, one that will cheat, is sneaky, use that referee. I mean, the referee is so important in a match. People don't these days don't realize that, and it's one of the things.
Give me Earl Hebner.
Yeah, give me Earl. Dude, I used to love Tommy Young back in the day.
Tommy Young was
Slide
damn
right,
good.
goddamn
Tommy
Young good, yeah.
Whatever he was.
High drama, boy,
yeah,
everything was on the line. And referees mean a lot. I mean, referees can get over.
Referee can make your match or kill it.
Right.
Damn straight.
And you want that referee to have some credibility. Am I right?
Credibility and somebody that's going to react from what I do.
Right.
I just seen a guy stick his finger down his fucking skull and rip his eyeball out.
Right.
And the referee's yawning.
Right.
Are you serious?
Right.
I want the guy over in the corner trying to throw up.
Right.
Because he just sold it for me.
Right.
I used to love the referee that you'd go to turn back with some bitch, and the referee would take a bump.
Yeah.
God damn, that's working.
Yeah.
I want that referee that'll dive across the ring for that 3 count.
Right.
Not walk over there and stamp his foot 1. Art Thomas, God bless him.
Bronco Lubis, too.
Yeah, Bronco did it.
I used to ride back the car with a Skander Akbar Bronco.
Oh, my God, you went to school.
Dude, I was green as grass, and we'd make some trips into Louisiana. Of course, I'd have a pot to
They
piss
showed you
there.
how to save money, too, didn't they?
Oh, you're damn right. That's the first thing Skandar told me. He goes, kid, you're saving money, ain't you? I said, well, I mean, first of all, I wasn't making any money.
Yeah.
Whatever.
$20 for that. I'm not going to say save a
shit
dollar.
out of it.
Save a dollar.
You mentioned a while ago getting color. Back in the day, where was your place of preference to carry a blade?
My wrist. On my wrist. I took great pride in that. And I hated seeing guys that went down and did this bullshit, you know. There's a right way and a wrong way to do it. Most people do it wrong. They slice. That's not the right way.
What is the right way?
Right way is to go and twist.
Got it.
I got to the point I could do it off a backdrop.
Right.
I could do it in midair because I was doing this. I wasn't going all the way across.
Right.
It heals quicker. You're going to get more juice, and you can do it a lot quicker. Done.
Right.
Done. Because if you're going to slice, you got to kind of gauge where that son of a bitch is at. You don't want to cut your goddamn eyebrow off.
Right.
You know, my father one time cut all of his hair off.
Really?
Yeah, he was leaned over. Assassins had headbutted him on Shark television. Yeah. And he went down and cut, and when he did, his goddamn hair fall off. Oh my God! Whatever the assassin hit him with knocked his hair off, ladies and gentlemen. That's a true story. True story. Scared me to death.
How did you go about making your blades? Because I was just taught to take, the old school razors. Yeah, I'd clip one and two, and then take that
cut an angle.
Cut an angle off that long triangle. Yep. Then I'd run a piece of tape over the top of it, stick the blade through, and then that'd be my depth gauge. Yeah, I might put a double layer on there, and then I'd have my pull tab.
Yep.
Same for you?
Fold over pull tab.
Okay, now here's the thing. When I went to pro wrestling school, they don't teach you how to make a blade. When I went to pro wrestling school, they didn't teach you how to take a chair shot. Yeah. When I went to wrestling school, they don't teach you how to give a chair shot.
They don't teach you how to work.
Well, no, it's on the job training. Your first time to get color, how did that go? Who taught you how to make a blade?
I watched my father for years, once I got into business.
Was he just sit there at the kitchen, to get ready? Or
he did it at the building.
Right.
My father took that whole thing about juicing a long ways. He done something I've never seen done since.
That's right.
He would gig, and where he cut, he'd take that monkey blood on there, but then he'd sit down and he would cut thread, little pieces of thread. And he'd lay back and put those pieces of thread up there, and then he'd put his white clear tape over it.
Yeah.
Which made it look like stitches.
Yeah.
Freaked me out.
That's a pretty good idea.
Damn straight.
So, what was the first time you were asked to get color? Because, you're called upon that first time, and you ain't never did it.
Right.
You
oh,
remember?
my God. I'm fixing to tell on myself right here. I'm going to tell you the first time I got color. I wasn't asked to get it. Was goddamn it was eating at my soul. I gotta figure that out. And oh boy, you talk about a rotten son of a bitch. I'm fixing to spill beans on myself. I was in Florida the first time, and wife had a baby, and a lot of pretty damn girls down there in Florida, and me in Tampa, and some girl took a liking to me, and I was an old Texas boy. Hell, if you got laid twice a month, you were a stud. Now I got this girl saying all sorts of nasty words to me and just blowing my mind. I probably had 3 or 4 orgasms before I ever got her in the back seat, just her talking. But it finally happened, and I did the thing. I ain't going to tell you how long it lasted because I'm embarrassed about that too. But now I've got to go home, and I'm an hour and a half late. And it's only 10 miles. Where the hell you been?
Right.
So I kind of put this and that together. I decided that I was going to gig myself and tell my old lady that coming out of the arena, somebody hit me or something, I'll get out of this shit. So I stopped at a K&B drugstore and got Platinum Plus, which was the wrong shit, big old thick-ass blade, and cut myself. I didn't do it the right way. I went side to side, and really overdid it.
Are you shitting me?
No, I swear to God. I swear to God. Now, here's the great ending. You got to have an ending to the story for the pops. Here we go.
Okay.
So I gigged the shit out of my fucking self. I go and tell the wife. I get by.
Yeah.
I get by. My ass is clear.
Yeah.
Cool. But God damn it, the next day, I got to go to work. What's the referee doing with the goddamn gig mark I went across? So I figure I better carry the story on a little further.
Yeah. What happened now?
Fucking Dusty called me out on it. I said, yeah, these fucking guys last night, man, I went to a bar and they fucking hit me with the goddamn bottles. I said, damn, that looks like fucking stainless steel Platinum Plus to me. Yep, he fucking knew. Yeah, I just, oh my God, it was, Yeah, it's amazing what we're going to do to keep our ass out of shit.
I'll never forget one time going back to your dad. He was an agent for WCW for a long time. I used to have some bust-ass matches with Dustin Rhodes. Mm-hmm. And god dang, we'd tear each other up, and we were working pretty stiff. We just like to work like that. And god damn, we was working in Phoenix, Arizona one night, and the house was down. Wasn't no good.
That's when you work harder.
And and so Dustin goes up to Grizz, and he says, "Hey Grizz, you think me and Steve might be able to get some color?" And your dad, he's tall as a mountain. I think that might be a good idea. So, boy, me and Dustin got clearance to go out there and get double juice.
Oh, shit.
So, boy, all of a sudden, we out there have a bust-ass match. Right on the underside of 20 minutes, come back just bloody and shit. And out walks a shined-up, oiled-up Lex Luger in his blue trunks, and he looked at us like it was an Amityville horror.
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't understand what we was trying to do, and he just didn't get it.
He thought you were assholes. Now he's going to get his tights dirty.
Right.
But you guys were sincere about wanting to go out and help this damn building.
But there's also something about, I guess it's, anytime I've ever gotten color, it's a weird thing to do.
It is.
Because I'm not a guy who's
into
cutting.
Right.
But there's an honor that goes to it, but there's also a little bit of sickness into that.
There is sickness
nobody really normal sticks a blade in their head, and whether you're twisting or doing a little pull,
doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. It's just different. And that first crack, when you hear that pop when it goes through that layer of skin, you hear that and you feel it, and it's a very interesting feeling when that warm blood starts coming down your face. But it's for the story.
And the adrenaline hits your body.
And well, I'll tell you what, if we was working on television or if there's a major pay-per-view, I was the same with you. I'd carry, but I always had an insurance plan. I'd carry two on my left wrist, and I'd probably give the referee one to keep in his pocket if anything went wrong.
Did you ever have any injuries from a blade?
No.
Other than up here?
No, I was working with Flair one time in a cage, kind of the Morawski story. I mean, he got a little loose that night, and I would like working with Edward Scissorhands, but no, never any accident. And you?
Yeah. I can't remember who gave me the gut shot. But I'd put the blade down here afterwards, and he gutted me. And when he did, that son of a bitch just fucking dug about 3 or 4. I felt it come out my spine, It just went right through me.
How long a dagger did you make?
Well, it had a little size to it, like that, but still, it went in about that deep. I remember getting to the back. I had to move the skin around to push it back out.
Right. And that was always the thing, the telltale thing. It's getting the color is one thing, and it's an art form in itself. Like you said, you could do it taking a backdrop, but it's the disposal of the blade because it was always the go-to. De facto was in the waistband.
Well, the first time that I tried to give it up, I dropped it. So that was it. I'm never doing that again.
Boy, if a crowd gets a hold of that,
oh my God!
You done killed the territory.
You wouldn't walk back in the locker room.
Yeah.
Even though, that was just our heads.
Right.
And then I seen the guys put it in their mouth.
I never was a big fan of that.
I tried that one time, man, and I wound up coughing that son of a bitch about 45 rows back. Because a guy hit me, and I went, oh shit! Yeah, not real bad.
Well, so did y'all end up brawling out there so that you could try to find the damn thing?
No. We were in Dallas. That goddamn sport touring floors. I ain't getting down there on that shit.
That's dirty shit. One time I was turkey hunting. I had a reed, a diaphragm, on top of your mouth, a turkey call, and I almost swallowed that son of a bitch. And I was coughing loud, sounded like a turkey, and I'm dying. I'm thinking, this is really how I'm going to die, coughing on a turkey reed.
The turkey runs over to check you, make sure you're all right.
And then I shot him.
Yeah.
So the mouth was never couldn't do that with the blade. And plus, the thing.
From then on, I just went to stone the tights.
Right.
Yeah. I was always careful, taking my tights,
Yeah.
And I tried to go in between the tights, not go inside the homestand.
Right. Yeah. Bad things that happen. We won't go there.
No, I think that's what happened the rest of mine. I cut it off.
This is the Steve Austin Show.
This is Denny Somack, host of The Rock Podcast. I'm a producer, author, and rock historian, and I want to share with you some of the greatest stories in rock and roll.
Well, Bonzo was the best hard rock drummer ever, hands down. No one comes within a mile of him.
And I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan. John Lennon had this wise guy look on his face, just like being my friends were just a bunch of wise guys, street kids.
The first guitar I ever had was Spanish guitar, and I couldn't really get the hang of it. I was only 13.
I had never written a song before, actually, and so Jim says, okay, everybody go home and write some songs, And so I went home and wrote Light My Fire.
Join me for The Rock Podcast, the only podcast that matters, from PodcastOne or wherever you get yours.
All I'm back here with Jacob Snake Roberts. We're talking about the invention of the DDT. The DDT happened by accident, am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
What happened?
You know, as a baby face, one thing you don't ever want to be guilty of is tripping and falling. So you just look like a...
Yeah.
And it's more in your head than
You can
anything.
do it as a heel, but as a baby face,
As a heel, you get a pop, but as a baby face, you get...
loser!
You know?
Yeah, or these days, you fucked up.
Yeah. I was working...
That's the thing about babyface that I didn't like. You could never have any egg on your face. Yeah. But I love the heel aspect of working in a business gave you the creative freedom or liberty.
Fall out of the ring backwards.
Anything.
Yeah.
But then mean like a motherfucker, vicious bastard, cheating. You're right.
Then throw him out of the ring.
Yeah. Fuck
look
you.
at him. He's back out there right with. I was working with Lynn Denton. Back then, my finish was...
I heard he was a hell of a goddamn
worker.
worker.
My God.
I've always heard Lynn Denton was a hell of a worker. I've never seen his work.
Right up her steamboat.
Really? I got to check. Where can I find his work at?
Oh, my God. You probably have to check the archives and look for something in stone. No.
Right.
Rock, not stone. Sorry.
So there you are.
I was doing a knee lift for a finish. Wrestling 2 had given me the knee lift, which was one of the great moments in my life for him to come to me and he said, I want you to start doing the knee lift when I leave the territory.
God damn, Wrestling 2 gave it to you?
Yeah, sure did, man.
That's amazing.
Yeah, sure did. I think he's paying my dad back for rides. I don't know.
Right.
You know how it was back
What had you been using prior to that?
I didn't have to have a finish back then. I was just flipping my back, you know. No. I was doing a side suplex.
Okay.
You know, and didn't do it right. I couldn't do that kind of bolt over, but so he gave me the knee lift. So Lenny being really good with the high spots and stuff, I'd work front face lock on him. You know, and back then Lenny and I were having to put in 40 a night, you know, so Watts could go out and do 5.
Right.
And say, why? You know, we wouldn't even have our tights on, they'd be back.
Yeah.
So I'd put that front face lock on him, work it, and he'd try to get out. He'd reverse one time, I'd reverse back, right back, hit it, boom. And do 2 or 3 spots out of it, and finally I get him to the point, and I'm weakening him down. Now I've got that son of a bitch. And he'd finally fight to his feet, and he'd drive me into the corner once. I'd wrench it, and I'd push him back out. He'd drive me back in there again. I'd wrench it and push him back out. The third time, usually he drove me back in, I would release. He would stagger back, bend over. I'd catch him with a short knee lift. He'd take the bump and the ropes dive on him. 1, 2, foot on the rope. Oh, my God, go back front face lock.
Yeah.
That's love. That's love right there, man. Well, we were in New Orleans one night, and he went to push me back in there the third time. He stepped on my goddamn foot, and we fell down. Of course, being a babyface, I spun my feet going, no, I didn't trip.
Yeah.
But Lenny had heard the pop. That's something else I'll ask you about here in a minute, is not hearing the pop when you're a babyface.
Right.
As a heel, I listen to the people. As
Yeah.
a babyface, I never did.
Really?
It's weird. It's really weird. But anyway, so I did that damn thing. And later that night we were at the bar, and she said, goddamn, you got something like that. I'm like, look, dude, if you think I'm going to fucking let you trip me every fucking night, I'm not going to fucking do that shit. He goes, no. You need to fucking figure out a way to... And that's how it started. That's how it started, man.
So did you just...
I started playing around, imagining it. You know, you start out in a hotel room, holding, you look in the mirror and hold it and trying to figure out which way to get your legs. And that's the big thing everybody misses today on doing it. They don't throw the leg through.
Right.
I always took the left leg and pulled it back and shot it through there,
right,
which puts the speed to it.
Right.
The quickness of the bump going down. Now you got guys grab it and they hop in the fucking, oh, God, I hate that. And unfortunately, the best person to do it, other than me, is a chick.
Who's that?
I just lost it. Brain fart. Damn it.
But when you put in the short arm clothesline to signal that you're going for it.
Yeah.
Because here's another thing that I got from your career, which was Michael P.S. Hayes' idea. The stunner, which he taught me in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Hey, kid, come here. You got a second? You damn right I do. Showed me the stunner. I started using that for a couple of months. And he said, you know what? He goes, we ought to have a setup move so people know that it's coming. Like Jake Snake Roberts. Yeah, telegraph. He hits the short arm clothesline. You know he's going for the DDT. There's anticipation. God, oh yeah. Boy, we got him now.
Money shot.
Oh, he slipped out.
Oh.
God damn. But it's a setup. When did you implement the short arm clothesline?
I think I was doing the short arm before that, actually. But then, you know, again, that's one of the problems these days is they don't have road trips where you can actually sit down and think about shit.
Right.
You know, I think if you remember, a lot of good shit was taught on a road trip because you had time.
Oh, yeah,
to think.
yeah. That's all you did.
And you drank.
Right.
You know, I remember the days back when you'd drink 4 or 5 and you'd say, you know how I beat Lou Fez, and you'd go a little bit further. So I don't know, I better have 2 more beers before I beat his ass.
Yeah.
You know, with Jack Briscoe or whatever. You don't have that time to think about it and talk about it, and you're not around guys to do it with. I know today it's a corporate thing or whatever, and these guys don't hook up or whatever, but they're missing a lot, you know. And I think my greatest ideas were in a car, you know,
right.
riding down the road and sharing stuff, you know,
right.
and honing your skill. You know, it wasn't a thing where you know, A, B, C, D. It was, oh, how about you go this way and that way?
Right, right. How would you go about calling your match in the ring? Because you weren't a guy who I really ever saw say nothing.
No, you didn't hear me.
Right. Well, I didn't see either.
Well, I usually did it right as we did it.
Right.
You know, that way you didn't have to give the guy time to think about doing something else.
Right.
You know, I grabbed the guy and raised knee kid, you know, and shoot him off.
Right.
And usually my spots were 1 moves.
Right.
1 move. You
right.
know, keep it simple.
Okay, but once you were a heel, obviously you called all your spots.
Yeah.
But then as a veteran baby,
yeah, I started calling
but you
my
were
spots
still
too.
working your spots, so you still probably calling all your shit.
Yeah.
I want to talk
telegraphing. You know, a lot of it's telegraphing. You get somebody like Steamboat, you don't have to talk to him. You just telegraph stuff.
Right.
You know, I go outside, go around the corner, and we've been working Marvin. I put my hand up there on the rope, tap the mat a couple of times. He grabbed my hand, pull me in the post.
Yeah.
You know, Ronnie Garvin. You know, I work with Ronnie. You know, and Jesus Christ, he never talked. You know, you might scream a few times, but he never talked. But I'd be beating the hell out of Ronnie Garvin. You know, I was a heel back then, and you know how I knew when he was gonna make his comeback?
Ow.
His nipples would get hard. I swear to God.
Really?
Yeah, I'd be whooping the shit out of him. And I'd look down and his nipples would start going. I'm like, mother, here he goes. Here he goes. And he'd come up and he'd start whomping.
Why did you say that you listened to the crowd as a heel, but you did not as a baby?
I think as a baby face, you just kind of went with it, you know?
Right, right.
But it's a heel. If you're not getting the exact tone, then you're ready. It's not time to go home yet.
Right.
You know, as a heel, you want to get them right where you want them.
Right.
Before you unleash it.
Right.
But as a babyface, you're selling or you're doing whatever,
right.
and you're not going to change your goddamn comeback anyway.
Right.
And if they ain't ready, you're not going to stop and start over.
Right. But you heard them, but you weren't relying on that to.
I'm not going to change anything
right.
if we're headed home.
Okay.
But as a heel, I might stop.
Okay. Before we get to the movie, real quickly, I wanted to ask you, as a heel, you in your prime, who's 1 or 2 of your favorite guys to work with? Because
Steamboat for sure, no doubt.
Steamboat.
You know, yeah, hell yeah, man. Ricky was just phenomenal. The art of selling again.
And he was so just instinctive. I mean, and he put in the filler stuff that you didn't have to call. If you grab him in a headlock, you don't have to say top wrist lock because it's his automatic. First of all, he'll let you take that headlock, but then as a babyface, he's got to try to counter. And a lot of people just want you, hey, top wrist lock. Well, you ain't got to tell him. He's trying to escape.
He telegraphed.
Right.
Amazing telegrapher. You know, and his art of selling and the body being twisted and, you know, and never dying, you know, and
right.
You know, the unnatural movement,
right.
Which is something I worked on too. You know, these guys you go out and sell. I mean, it's like Ernie Ladd. God bless you, Ernie. You kick Ernie Ladd in the knee, and he went, mercy, mercy. Referees are killing me. You know, you punch him in the gut. Hand over the ear. Mercy, mercy, referee, you're killing me. You know?
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Yeah.
I swear to God, man.
I got to ask you just real quickly about working with Andre the Giant, one of the biggest dudes, the biggest dude in history, but he's got a big show now, but Andre was one of a kind. What was his physical presence like? Because basically he could impose his will on whoever he wanted.
He did, too.
So how was working with him? Torturous?
The first time was one of the most horrific nights I ever had in my life.
What happened?
Didn't sell a goddamn thing I was doing and just guzzled me. Ate me.
And nothing you can do about it.
To the point.
Right.
That I must have been high. Because I called him out.
Right.
I fucking kicked that locker room door open in L.A. And Lanza looked at me and he just ran past me. He didn't want to be in there.
No shit.
And I said, motherfucker, what the fuck was that shit? What the fuck? Motherfucker, if you want to make some money, I'm all for it. But if you're going to do that shit, find somebody fucking else. When he looked at me and went, come over, sit down. We were okay then. He wanted to see if I had balls.
Yeah.
He was funny like that, you know. I mean, he wanted to be in there with a man. Somebody respected him,
right?
Respected what he did,
right?
And respected himself,
right? Here's before we get to the movie. Here's a final folklore or tall tale or just a story. I want you to confirm if this is true or not. I'd heard when you came to the WWF, you know, you were having matches, but you weren't necessarily getting over. And Vince called you in to a meeting, and he said, "What the fuck you doing?" And you said, "I'm trying to have good matches." He said, True. "I didn't bring you here to
I know where you're going."
Okay, tell me the story.
It was about TV. You know, back in the day, he had those squash matches.
Yeah.
And he didn't want the heels to give, or the babyfaces to give up anything. Anything. He wanted you to go out and guzzle them. Not my style.
Right.
My style is to fight out from under and hit him with the DDT.
Right.
Hell, if I've guzzled you, what fucking surprise was it?
Right.
That's one time that I stood up to it.
Right.
And it almost cost me my job because he came back to me a few weeks later and said, "God damn it, you didn't hear me." I said, "Vince, that's not how I get over." And I stayed with it. But I was that close to losing that spot, man.
But his point was, he goes, he didn't bring you here to have good matches. He brought you in to get over. Because when you got over, that's when you...
How did I get over, though? The way I got over was teaching the people short arm clothesline. Here we're going for the finish.
Right.
The way I got over was hit the guy out of the blue with the shit.
Right.
And how else did I get over? By being a fucking snake. A snake don't go out there and stand up and fucking go at the guy.
Right.
So, yeah, it came close to cost me my job. Sure did.
But to that point, and going back to that statement you said earlier, you can either be one of the boys or you can make money.
I don't think that's what my dad was talking about.
No?
I think he was talking about hanging out with the guys and partying with the guys.
Gotcha.
And, being with that group.
Right.
You know, and being a rebel. See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was talking about, if you're going to get in this business and make some damn money, you get with your two guys that you're working with, and you guys make a shell, and you just go. You don't...
A whole different context for me. I got you.
You don't do a whole lot for anybody else.
Right.
Which is something I've always disagreed on.
Right.
My idea of coming in and doing my job as a professional wrestler is to try to help everybody on that goddamn card.
Right.
If I hadn't, there'd be no Steve Austin.
Right.
If I hadn't, there'd be no goddamn Road Warriors. Because they sucked when they started. Right. And hell, Buzz Sawyer and Brett Sawyer beating the shit out of them every night. And I took the book over there and made them stars.
Right.
You know,
I got off the road a long time ago, and it took me 3 years and
decompress.
A lot of drinking to decompress, and I finally got the business out of my system. You went down a real rough, rocky road, and it was documented in the resurrection of Jake Roberts. I got the latest edition of it. I'm hoping that's the final piece because I mean Jesus Christ, it's perfect. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, it's great.
Is wrestling out of your blood?
No, never will be. Never will be.
So where's your head at? I mean, do you still constantly think about the business? Because
no, I don't.
Back in the day,
no, I don't. No,
you don't.
Back in the day, I was fueled by it. It was 24/7.
Right.
These days, because of the lack of places to do it, the way I like to do it, I've quit watching. I've quit being involved.
Right.
And by some of my actions have burned a lot of bridges, and I'm not invited back there.
Right.
That's probably a good thing. Because in my early days of coming to sobriety, which is all documented in the movie, I had to get away from it. Because, you know, you fall in love with something, and it's like a woman. You want it all the time. But sometimes it's the wrong goddamn woman, you know? And, you know, me drinking and drugging was a choice. Why'd you do cocaine? Because I like that shit. You know? Sorry, this is the truth.
Yeah.
But at some point, I wasn't doing the drug anymore. The drug was doing me. And that's when I got lost.
Right.
And unfortunately, when you get that far into it, the hook is set so goddamn deep you can't go nowhere. This movie, Steve, is real hard for me to watch. Because I don't like seeing that guy that I'm looking at up there and hearing him.
It was tough to watch.
I can tell him he's lying. I'll tell that guy on the movie he's a fucking liar.
Yeah.
You know, because he was.
Yeah.
It's real hard for me to watch. And I just wanted to help somebody else, man. Whether it's Scott Hall or the guy down the street or whoever. I wanted to help somebody else, man, because I know how desperate and how horrible I felt about myself. I hated me. I took the mirrors down in my house because I hated that motherfucker.
Right.
With a passion. I wanted him to die. I did not want to see him no more because of what I'd not being there for my kids, not being there for anybody, you know, for myself for that matter. But now, coming back, man, I've got my kids back under my wing, man. My grandkids love the hell out of me. They think I'm just the coolest shit ever seen hit the planet. You know, I went to school with them the other day. One thing that I did the other night, man, I went and went to a wrestling show, and I wrestled. And had 3 little granddaughters out there. And didn't think about it. They really got emotionally tore up because I sold.
Right.
And the next morning, man, I sat down, something my father would have never done, and explained the business to him.
Really?
Yeah, because my father never explained the business to me.
You know, it's always a shoot.
Oh, yeah. And it scared us kids to death, man.
So how did they take that?
They didn't. I don't know if they really got it, but I think I could tell them that it's not real and all that stuff, but they didn't get that part. When I just said, look, we're just having fun, you know. Like, I said, come here. Like, touch my arm. Oh. And I sold for there. Oh. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
You know. And bottom line is, I don't think I'll be taking them back.
Right.
Because I don't want them to suffer like I did.
Right.
But watching this movie, Steve, it's going to help a lot of people, man.
Dude, I watched that movie, and I was watching the back half of it. Watching some in my office, and I had the headphones on. I was watching, and my wife had my headphones on. I was watching on my computer screen. Dallas emailed it to me.
Yeah.
And I'm over. I had tears in my eyes. I'm one of the toughest sumbitches that ever laced up a pair of boots in the WWF. I had tears in my eyes at least 4 or 5 times in that movie. And then at the end, boy, I had to get it right down right here. We're just talking about it. When you guys, Scott, and DDP did the triple lockup at the end.
You know how hard that was to get them to do that right?
Dude, it was just 3 grizzled veterans who had traveled the world 6 times over.
It was Clint Eastwood and
John Wayne.
Yeah, man, Robert Mitchum.
Robert Mitchum. And goddamn, y'all did that triple lockup, and I was like, man, that's 3 guys who all went down different roads. Yeah. All came back together, and Dallas helped put you in the place that you're in that, and Scott.
I'd be dead right now, man.
When you went to the Hall of Fame, you cut the goddamnest promo speech I'd ever heard.
I don't remember a damn word.
I know, but because it come from your heart.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you, and wrapping up this podcast, and if you haven't seen the resurrection, if you have not seen the resurrection of Jake Roberts, you absolutely must see this documentary. It's one of the best ones I've ever seen, and obviously with the personal interest. And you know what? It was interesting. I was back in the front office, and Josh Brolin, the actor, had just seen it and had commented to Steve about how awesome and the production was, and your story was so inspiring that here's a cat that I didn't know anything about the wrestling business, and he loved it. But you've always had a gift for promos or a gift with words.
Right.
Was it always like that?
Steve,
how did you develop the promo?
As much as I hate to admit it, it come from the abuse that I went through.
Did it?
I think that a lot of my wrestling psychology came from that. When you are tortured, manipulated, sexually abused, the list goes on and on, at a young age, you learn to read people. Because you walk into that room and you got to know who to be scared of. You learn to play up to certain people. You learn to act. An abused kid is the greatest actor on the planet. Because most of them you don't even know. Because they're ashamed and they hide it from themselves. They hide it from everybody else. So I think a lot of that BS that I went through as a kid taught me how to tell a lie. I mean, brother, if you lie some line, you can learn to lie.
Right.
You know, I really think that, you know, and I hate that I had to go through it. I hate it for any kid. And if there's any kids out there going through that crap, get to me. I'll come over and talk with you. I'll just sit down and we'll get right. Because, you know, Steve, I go to these signings and do these movie premieres and stuff, and I'll see some kid come through that line, man, and I look at him like,
right.
He's going through hell, man.
Right.
And so that's not a gift there. That's a painful thing.
But the conviction with which you delivered your message was,
real.
I mean,
Real.
fuck,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
Whether it was the menacing heel or just that baby, it's saying what he was going to have to do or go through, that sheer determination.
Look through your opponent. Don't look at your fan. Look through him. That's what I used to tell myself. If I was looking out in the crowd, I didn't look at a guy. I looked through him.
Right.
Visually look through him. Don't look at one person, because if you do, you're cheating the rest of the arena.
Right.
I want to tell you something. I've really enjoyed this.
Dude, I appreciate you
And
sitting down with you.
respect you and love you more than you'll ever know. Because you proved me right.
Yeah.
Okay, Vince.
Thank you.
Take that out.
Thank you. Jake Roberts. This is Steve Austin. I'm riding off in the sunset after talking to the biggest guys in the history of the business, Jake and Snake Roberts.
This has been a Podcast One production. Download new episodes of The Steve Austin Show every Tuesday at PodcastOne.com. That's PodcastOne.com.
Hey man, do you own or rent your home? Sure you do, and I bet it can be hard work. You know what's easy? Bundling policies with Geico. Geico makes it easy to bundle your homeowners or renters insurance along with your auto policy. It's a good thing too, because you already have so much to do around your home. Go to geico.com, get a quote, and see how much you could save. It's Geico easy. Visit geico.com today. That's geico.com.